Welcome to the Monster Hunter Podcast Show. It's episode 61 and it's the beginning of 2012. Recorded live from the hipster table. Hi and welcome to the Monster Hunter Podcast. I'm Christian from Game Design Reviews and Game Design Scrapbook.
Hey everyone, this is Shepard from SocialDissonance.com and the Hipster Zone.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Noxella, also from SocialDissonance.com, and I'm not actually a hipster. They made me sit here.
I was a hipster before it was cool to not be a hipster.
Wow, that's meta hipster. That's pretty cool, man.
Thank you.
I'm leaving.
Okay, I'll go too.
Let's listen to some dubstep.
I think orange is the hipster color for Devil Joe armor.
Brum, brum. Oh, I'm pretty sure Devil Joe is listening to dubstep.
Yeah, he dubsteps.
We have to ask him. I'm just waiting for Devil Joe to come up with like hipster glasses.
Ooh.
And a fixed bike.
Oh God.
You know, don't talk too much about subspecies because like Capcom pays attention to the community and then like they do all those things.
We are going to talk about the Monster Hunter things that popped up recently soon, but first, welcome to 2012. This is not really the New Year's episode. It's not New Year's right now.
It's the New Year episode.
It's the first episode in 2012, the last year of the civilization.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Is there something wrong, Maxo?
We're all gonna die.
Yes.
What?
Lions.
Mine. Oh God. At first, I thought I was more worried about dying in Monster Hunter than I am in real life. Jeez, I mean, the end's going to come to us all eventually. I'm like, Noxella, man, it's just an Oregon. Like, bro, like, those guys are pretty easy. So, regale us a little bit, because you were talking just before we started this about your experience in Freedom Unite and what you were fighting there, Christian.
Oh, yeah. I was actually, if we hadn't recorded today, then I would probably record like maybe a single-player podcast or something, because I got back into Freedom Unite, and I'm actually right now at the end of the Village Elder quests, the first Village Elder quest. So I'm proceeding steadily towards high rank right now.
Getting there. A little bit at a time. I mean, you're in high rank in the guild.
Yes.
Now, here's a quick test question. Do you remember the correct order that you're supposed to go through Freedom Unite as a single player?
I would assume first Village Elder.
Yeah.
Then online.
Yeah.
Low rank online, then the Cat Village Elder.
You did it! You did it! You did that thing you weren't supposed to do.
It's okay. Don't listen to him.
Is the cat evil?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the Village Elder quests, the Cat Elder quests, that is, are very slightly harder than the high rank quests.
Oh.
So if you're finding high rank to be a little difficult in the village, go ahead and do some online.
So
in the guild.
Even if I single player the online quests?
That was my experience. I mean, and as far as I know, in terms of the damage formula, the math backs it up. The Feline Elder quests actually have a slightly higher defense modifier, a life modifier, and if you will kind of go into the development of Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, originally Monster Hunter Freedom 2 only had high rank in the guild, did not have a feline elder, and so I think the idea was we want to give an extra village quest for people that had already completed high rank. That would still be a challenge to them, but like a step between high rank and G rank.
That's super interesting. Okay, then probably I would have made a horrible mistake, and you just prevented it.
Well, look, you can do it. Just don't try to complete Monster Hunter, the very last quest, with only high rank gear until like you're like really good at the game, because that's kind of difficult. I mean, it can be done. It's just difficult. We had somebody in the Social Dissonance IRC channel that was trying to beat Monster Hunter with level appropriate gear, and they were having a little bit of a challenge. I'm like, oh, why don't you just use Genie's Lamp and Brown Volgaga stuff? He's like, oh, I'm only high rank. I can't make those things. I'm also Kermit. I'm Kermit the Frog.
I'm turning slowly into Kermit the
Frog.
Oh my God, what's happening?
Well, I mean, that was just the effect of being in the socialdissonance.com IRC channel. That wasn't necessarily from Monster Hunter, but yeah, he'll eventually get past that, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
well,
I was just...
I'm very far away from that, but Shepard, you, I heard that you have been playing something very, very special.
Ooh, yeah, there'll probably either be videos up by the time this comes up, or things spliced in between quests. I've actually gotten into the Japanese version of Monster Hunter Frontier.
ZOMG!
I know! It's completely in Japanese and much harder to do than Monster Hunter Portable Third, because there's like a million things, and
it's hard. What's so hard about it?
Well, alright. Monster Hunter Portable Third, you know, you had... The hardest part was that you would have like gathering quests, and you had to try and translate and figure out what exactly you were gathering. It's not so much difficult finding the quest you're supposed to do in Frontier as it is like communicating with the Japanese, because there are several barriers of entry to Monster Hunter Frontier, and I'll go through them to the people that are going to be really curious about this. The very first and foremost is you first must navigate the Capcom Online Games website, which is in Japanese, although you can use Google Translate, and create yourself a Capcom Online Game account. And that requires creating a name and setting the right prefecture for your Japanese center. Yeah, you know, they've got like little provinces and stuff in Japan. You gotta make sure those are all right. Match up right, correct.
So in which prefecture is your Shepard persona located?
I chose the same one, I think, as Areno. What was it again? Where's he from? Noxella?
You mean
I can't even remember.
From Game Center CX?
Yeah, I try to use all the same information he had. I can't remember exactly what it is. I have it saved. It doesn't matter, as long as it matches to the zip code. But that's actually kind of the easy part. Then the next part is like you must prepare your computer to play Frontier.
Why does the computer need equipment too?
It needs to be set up very specially so that when you launch the Monster Hunter Frontier game, it would appear as if you're an actual Japanese person playing it, and not, you know, some American person playing it.
Do they check like things like language of the operating system and stuff like
They do. So you have to change your system location to Japan.
Wow.
You have to change your time to Japan. So right now it is 9:55 a.m. in Japan, when it is really 7:55 p.m. in the East Coast. But my system information says 9:55 a.m. So right around this time actually is when the system update is for Monster Hunter Frontier. So I actually wouldn't be able to play it right now if I wanted. So I have to podcast. So once that's done, you actually have to set up yet another thing, and that is not only must your computer report that it is Japanese, but your IP must report that you are Japanese. So you must install a VPN program, which stands for Virtual Private Network. And what that lets you do is, for the people that aren't in the know, it lets you connect to a server in Japan, and it gives you a Japanese IP address.
Yeah. That's something actually like people from Germany may be familiar with, because we have, for example, problems with YouTube in Germany. Certain videos on YouTube, especially music videos, are pretty much not accessible from Germany. You get like an error message, and this is actually something that affected you, Shepard. That's actually the first time we contacted.
Yeah, and I made a special video just for you. I'm like, oh, this German guy seems really nice and handsome, so I'm going to make a special video just for him.
Yeah, so like a pro tip for you YouTubers, if you're using like copyrighted content, copyrighted music as a background in your videos, then those videos might not be able to be accessible in Germany, which is a problem.
Well, it's weird because even the video in question wasn't even really copywritten, but I guess Germany might have even more stringent guidelines on what is or is not copywritten. Well, I think any music is blocked.
No, not any music, but certain music labels have their music blocked. So no matter what video is shown, as long as they detect the music, then that video will be blocked entirely. And yes, and there are like VPN services to get around this problem for Germany, but of course this is only for power users like me.
So, alright, so let's assume you've got all those things done, and you log in and you play Monster Hunter Frontier. You actually can sign up for a free trial course, which will allow you to play up to Hunter Rank 2, which is good, because, I mean, it's that way you aren't out any money if you can't get it to work or it seems completely over your head. No loss.
Mm-hmm.
But say you actually do want to play the full version of the game, it actually does require roughly $15 a month payment.
Oh, wow.
It requires something called a Hunter's Life Course.
Wow.
Which is just their basic access to the game itself.
It's called a Hunter's Life Course?
Yeah, they refer to all their things as, like, meals. So the Hunter's Life Course just lets you actually play the game as a normal hunter over Hunter Rank 2.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a yoga course, but you don't learn yoga, but you learn life.
It's a little, maybe that's. I thought of it like food, but maybe it's supposed to be like a class. I think you're right.
Maybe you get like a not like a yoga mat, but like a life mat.
Yeah, and you got to spin it, and you got to try not to get above 10.
And you got to try not to fart.
Well, out your armpit.
What? Are you Uragan?
Yeah. So, the beginning's not so hard. In fact, the first area you start is like a training area. You can kill Kutku there in about, 3 minutes is about an average time for me. And once you get over HR10, though, or really actually not even that, HR3, you're going to want to start killing Gogamoa.
Gogamoa?
He's like a striped monkey.
Oh, okay. So it's like a Blango thing.
Yeah, he's really easy. He dies basically instantly. But as you get higher up in ranks, the monsters really do get pretty difficult, to the point where, the HR, or the life of the monster is really scaled, expecting at least 3 or so hunters. And so it's not that soloing is not possible in Frontier, but you're going to need to become somewhat familiar with Japanese, if only because you're going to need to be able to get an active group going. Mm-hmm. You could beat the monster, but considering how much hunter rank points you need and parts you need to make good equipment, I mean, you can't be wasting time doing that. Mm-hmm. I had a premium assistance course.
Assistance course?
Yeah, there's something you can pay. It's like $10, and you'll get this really awesome hunter that's controlled by the computer to come help you. It was free for a week because of Christmas. I wouldn't actually pay money for that. And so she helped me solo a lot the early game.
It's like an AI-controlled hunter?
Yeah, it's like having like a super G-rank powered hunter with you from the very beginning that just murders everything from you endlessly. Like, I had the dual sword wielding cat girl. She's recommended. Highly recommended.
Cat girl? You mean with ears and everything?
She didn't have the ears, but she had a tail, and she had a lot of feline-inspired clothing on. She did a good job.
Oh, my, by the way, the Oregon is limping away.
I see him. He's scared. He's scared of my cat girls.
Oregon, don't go!
probably hungry. We dropped all our traps. So I did that for a while, but now that I'm in, I just got to HR 51. I actually just completed my.
Wait a minute. How can you get so high? So how does this HR system work there?
It's actually very similar to Monster Hunter Tri. In fact, the quest system is remarkably similar because, as Noxella had mentioned in the previous podcast, Frontier is another version of the game that has subquests. I actually didn't use subquests too much, but, with the help of my AI companion and actually Monomyth, I got a little shout out at the end of the last episode, I was able to advance up HR fairly quickly because right now they actually have premium quests for free, which they're not as expensive as the Sith course. Actually, I think they're somewhat similar, but the first one is cheap. It's like crack. They give an inflated amount of hunter rank.
Wait a minute, the first crack is cheap?
Yeah, it's cheap. They hook you in.
This Uragan is such a jerk.
Well, he's going to run right into those
seen this?
traps. He should run right into these. You just stand over here. Yeah, he'll go right in.
Well, we already have 2 traps out.
Yeah, but I mean, let's talk about the most frustrating part of the game. So a huge part of Monster Hunter is having, new equipment to play around with. By killing this Uragan, normally speaking, at least in low rank, we would be able to collect enough materials to create one of his pieces of armor, right? Mm-hmm. That's, for low rank, sometimes in high rank, that's my basic gauge. Kill a monster 5 times, you should be able to make his armor set, unless it's got something really rare or weird to it.
Like a plate.
In Monster Hunter Frontier, things work a little differently. You create your first set, and that has, slightly inflated ingredient costs. You're like, oh, well, okay. Mm-hmm. But that's not it. Every piece of armor can be upgraded 6 times, and those require actual monster parts.
Oh, so not like armor spheres, but actual monster parts.
Yes. And as you upgrade them, not only do they increase in armor, but they also increase in slots.
Okay.
And you gotta have those slots, man. You gotta have them. Yeah.
You get more slots.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and...
Wait a minute, slots or gems, what you mean?
Places for you to put decorations in.
Okay.
So,
why did I say gems?
I don't know, whatever it is.
Okay, well, they are gems, I guess.
Whatever they are. They look like gems.
Yeah.
The power of these are even greater in Frontier. Just starting off, you can get gems that give you, or decorations that give you +4 attack. So right now, on my very first set of created armor, I have attack up large, guard +1, speed sharpener, wind resist large. I mean, that sounds like something that's very high rank, possibly low G rank in Monster Hunter, in any of the offline games. And this is the very first armor set I created. And as you get farther on, the skills you stack onto your armors multiplies even more. Because the name of the game in Frontier is because you have to kill so many of these damn monsters. So many of them. A ridiculous amount that most people gear themselves for maximum damage per second. It's weird in a way, because a lot of the aspects that make Monster Hunter are kind of forgotten for the fact that people are creating these ridiculously overpowered sets in order to make the monster never be able to move. The second real weapon I made was a lance that has high attack, lots of green sharpness, paralysis, and dragon damage. If Nick were here, he would kind of talk about MMOs, because I think he's got a lot of experience with those. He'd talk about the power treadmill, and man, that treadmill has been going really far in Monster Hunter Frontier. So, I mean, it's a great game, because for the people that miss the challenge of Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, which, I mean, that game's almost 5 years old now.
Yeah.
Right? About there, Noxella? Is that about right?
I don't know when it came out.
Came out 2008, so 4 years. But I guess it probably came out in Japan in 2007, so I guess it is about 5 years. This gives you a chance to fight the monsters the same style, and definitely the same difficulty. I mean, for a lot of the times, the monsters are going to be immobilized, because that's how people gear themselves. But a lot of the other times, I mean, if they hit you with, like, any attack, like, you'll die, like, pretty fast. Like, there's a lot of instant kill moves, especially if you're a gunner. If you're a Blade Master, you might take one. So it's not easy. You know, you can't be sloppy, and that's a little hard too because there's a little bit of latency issues. You get teleporting monsters a lot of times, so that adds to it.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask. So if you're going through VPN and stuff like that, that's not really the quickest way.
No, absolutely not. The connection is better than you would expect. I mean, you definitely get a lot of weird monster twitching. Like, they definitely move around, like, spasmodically at times.
Spasmodically.
Like, twitching around. But it's not that bad. You know, the basic rule is that if it looks like the monster's going to hit you with it, they're probably going to hit you with it. And if you have a trap set up right in front of the monster and they're running at you, expect that they're going to run right over the trap, hit you, and then teleport back and land in the trap.
What?
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple times. I'm like, yeah, get right in that trap. And it, like, runs over, it hits me, and then it teleports back.
That's like monster hunting with a DeLorean.
Yeah, so for the people that are familiar with Monster Hunter Frontier that played it on the Korean version, which was frowned upon by me because you required a Korean social security number, kind of illegal, but whatever. It was harder to solo the game because I guess there weren't any two-person quests. But they have changed it so that there are a number of two-man quests now. So if you're a loner or you just like doing speed runs in the game, you can realistically speed run monsters in that game so long as you pick the appropriate two-man quests. There's so much to talk about in that game. I mean, because the game has been out, the way Capcom runs it, right? They came out with Monster Hunter Frontier. And just about every 4 months or so, they come out with an expansion. It's called, like, Episode 1, right? Is that how they call it, Noxella? Episodes?
I have no idea.
Seasons? I think they call them seasons. So, there's Monster Hunter Frontier Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, and those will add different things. Like, usually everyone will include a new monster, and different things, and we're working on Season 13.
It's crazy.
It's called Forward 3, but I guess they got tired of calling them seasons. So anything you see forward plus a number, that means that's 10 plus that number.
Oh, man.
And there are, outside of Hunter Rank, there are a lot of mechanics that they've added to the game to actually increase the grind even more.
Oh, even more?
Even more.
I fainted. That's how shocking this was. So,
the first thing they added was, I may be wrong, I'm not an expert on the game by any means, I'm just going over what I've read and seen in the game, is something called caravans, which are a special area of the game, a special server, where you're able to play with another group of players through a number of quests. So you'll do a series of quests together, and you'll earn caravan points. And those caravan points can be traded in for certain skills. And they have a variety of things. They do interesting things to the mechanics of the game, like I think one of them reduces the effectiveness of your guard, that makes it guard perfectly 25% of the time. I don't know why you would use that instead of guard +1, but maybe you would use it instead of guard +1 and hope you got lucky. I don't know. But there are other things that are caravan points that let you do, like permanent passive increase to the damage of your weapon. Things like that. Interesting things. You get interesting weapons, and you do interesting boss fights. Like, people familiar with Frontier probably know of Raviente, which is this gigantic... Oh god, I'm gonna die. Wow, I'm doing terrible.
Wow, you're doing terrible.
Thank you. I'm too busy talking about Frontier anyway. It's a multi-part quest. You gotta go actually through 9 different missions. Each one of them lasts 3 minutes with about a 3-minute break, so you're talking about at least an hour of stabbing a big snake thing in its butt.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds really fun. And then maybe the most interesting thing that they've done, but possibly most cruel, is this concept called style points, which lets people with a favorite weapon select a certain weapon style that they want to focus on. And say you pick the lance, which seems to be very popular. That will become your main weapon for a while. You won't be allowed, I think, to even change your weapon until you're at least style rank 200, which is essentially like grinding up to hunter rank 200 again. The reward is...
so it's like prestige with Call of Duty.
Sure. I'm not really familiar with Call of Duty, but it sounds similar.
It's like when you grind up all the way up, then you just decide to do it all over again.
And it gives you slightly better stats or starter
No,
guns?
you get the little icon next to your name.
That sounds really stupid.
And you can do it multiple times even.
Well, in Monster Hunter Frontier, as a reward for doing that, you get new attacks.
Okay.
Or new abilities, like the lance actually gets a 4th stab.
Ooh.
Which is pretty decent. I mean, I'll go for that. And you get other things too, like you get a damage bonus, certain weapons become better in certain quests, because there are now hardcore quests, which are designed to be style quests after a certain point. And there's actually, for the people that want to grind a lot, like an extreme amount, there's a certain type of armor that will actually pair with your style rank and give you a special benefit. For the lance, it kind of sucks. You get like a 4th back hop. Yay. But for like the hammer, I know it gives you like a damage bonus to your super pound, which is nice because the super pound kind of sucks in Monster Hunter Frontier.
Oh,
so it kind of gives you a reason to use it. Yeah, you know, unless I'm incorrect, the damage formula remains the same as it does in Monster Hunter Freedom 2. And at least from that class of games, the triple pound was the way to go. And in fact, really the only game where that's not entirely the case is Try, because the super pound is slightly more powerful here. You know, still go for triple pounds when you can, but if you want to land a super pound, they're not that bad.
Speaking of super pounds, nice.
Yeah. Did Noxella just super pound someone?
Well, the monster is
super pounding us.
Well, he's knocked out. Oh, maybe it was a flash.
It is a splash. That's a good thing. I think Noxella was trying to keep him from eating, but he looks like he's out of exhaustion anyways. Did he get enraged?
Oh, he cried on the ground. A single tear.
Yeah, he's mad.
A tear for his lost eggnog for homies.
I'm gonna pick it up and put it in my pocket.
So,
yes.
I mean, I guess that's more or less it. I mean, there's a lot of things that they have in terms of, like, extra stuff to do. Like, you get a pig, you get a hawk,
Wait a minute,
that's
not new.
The pig's not new.
No.
But actually, the way the pig works is actually extremely helpful.
Can you stroke it multiple times now?
You can actually configure it to do a lot of different things.
Uh-huh.
And by stroking your pig, you can actually get luck.
So it is the oh, sorry. sorry. It is like the thing that we have been.
Well, that is like the perennial Monster Hunter rumor. I take that back. I don't necessarily know that he has to be pet in order to give you luck, but when you get one of those premium hunters, or when you see high-rank hunters, oftentimes you'll see their pigs running around in the middle of quests, dropping good supplies. Like, the premium hunter would have a pig that would randomly drop ancient potions, or max potions, or demon drugs, or things like that, which is a big help in the middle of the quest.
You had me at pick during the quest.
Yeah, well, he shows up at the end. He bounces out of the ground, does a little dance, drops a little doo-doo on the ground, you pick it up, put it in your mouth.
What?
I mean, shiny. Oops. Gross.
You know the saying, you can't polish a turd. So if it's shiny, it's probably not a turd.
Pop it in your mouth, though. Two pigs, two poogies, one.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
You also get a hawk. That's actually with the very most recent edition every hunter is given a hawk that will accompany them on every quest. And he attacks the monster like normal.
You mean like a bird?
Yeah, he's kind of like a replacement, as you will, for like the felines. He acts kind of like them, except better. Yeah, because he's always attacking, except when he's healing you.
Oh, you mean, for this kind of healing.
Yep.
Okay.
And so you can do a lot of things with him. You can feed him different things, and if you feed him enough of a certain elemental attuned item, it will actually change him. He will evolve into that element. So I've seen dragon hawks, I've seen ice hawks. There's one of every kind. You could actually also give them status effects as well, which are also helpful. Let's not...
no. Oh, man. This was close.
And the last, and possibly most important, at least to one person, is the presence of... Well, I mean, the transliterated name is Gook, or Goku. I don't...
And it's a Super Saiyajin.
It is actually a Super Saiyan monkey that will follow you around.
No way.
But, it's a duck. You get a duck.
No way.
You do get a duck.
Really? A duck?
Yeah.
A bird?
I've named mine Christian.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He's black and he wears a little yellow party hat.
Really? Like a pink?
Like a little party cap.
Does he have like maybe like a party whistle?
He makes party noises.
Wow.
And I can't quite say that I really know what they do besides walk around and be awesome.
Wait a minute, that's already more than enough.
Well, you see, the best part about them is your duck or your Goku will wander into town on other people's games and like ambush them. And it's like there's been a number of times when I've tried to go into my storage chest and one's popped out and scared the crap out of me.
You describe like this bizarro world, like
they're crawling all over the place. In fact, I sometimes see more of them than I do
pigs and
yeah.
What
hawks. Yeah.
Hawks? What? It's like an entire zoo over there.
When Noxella and I were hanging out over the New Year, we saw one go on a quest.
A duck?
Yes. Remember that? We were watching him like, what the heck is he doing? He's like standing at like the quest counter, and then he wanders over to the quest area to leave, and then he goes.
The entire duck was a hunter?
Yes.
Yeah.
How big is the duck?
About the size of your pig.
Yeah, about that size.
Did he have armor on?
You can dress up your pig and your duck however you like.
The ducks have tiny armor?
Yep. My favorite ones have cool star glasses and like weird little outfits, like little sailor outfits. So you can definitely get like a Donald Duck getting on there.
This is crazy.
Yep.
This is paradise.
It is. Yep. And they do give you a special item if you get enough junk from one of their quests. You get an item that will randomly give you large amounts of money. It'll also make a crazy hard Raytheon show up in your quests sometimes, I guess.
I wonder if the ducks in the game are like real ducks, are very weak against wind.
I see them fall over sometimes.
Okay, see?
And when I visit my hawk, I see them floating around in the water, and they quack at me.
Oh man, this is so cute.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I mean, apparently you clearly spend a lot of time already in that game, right?
I've been playing for about a week, and I've been putting in a good 1 or 2 hours a day playing it. Mm-hmm. If I had like a day off, I might put in like 3 or 4. It's something
never
pretty...
come back.
Never come back. God, forever. Well, I mean, because here's the thing, and I actually had a conversation with Maze about this. You know, what we have on the horizon, you know, we were able to all play, and enjoy Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. Mm-hmm. And that was accessible because we could import it region-free on the PSP for a system we already owned and could relatively easily look up the information from on MHF3.com. No problem.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Tri-G is for the 3DS, and there's no easy way, as far as I know of. Noxel seems to have found a way to hack your 3DS with like a display out mod, possibly.
That wasn't me. That was one of
I maybe some guy is working on this, but I haven't seen anything yet.
So even if such a thing exist, I would have to import a Japanese 3DS, perform the modification, get it to record, hopefully well, and then what? Like, I can play it by myself, and record videos of myself playing it, but like, there's going to be little to no Western audience of it, simply because to play it is going to be an outward $400 investment. Whereas Monster Hunter Frontier is surprisingly easy to get into. You know, there is a significant language barrier, but just to try it out is free. Mm-hmm. And to play it per month is $15. And I feel a lot better spending, you know, around $150 over a year, well, $180 over a year than I do spending $360 and playing a game by myself alone. Playing against many of the monsters I've already fought against, because most of the monsters that you're fighting in Tri-G are, again, yet just reskins, recolors, you know, G-rank versions of monsters. Whereas in Frontier, a lot of new monsters. And they're always coming out with new ones. Every 4 months they give you another reason to play again because they've released something new. Hello, and welcome to the first report from Monster Hunter Frontier. This is Shepard showing a quick fight against Espinos. This is the Hunter Rank 31 version on the 2-man quest, so he should be fairly easy to solo. And I'm just going to demonstrate a quick run against him, just using some standard armor you can get already from HR 22. This is the Aruko Dior Lance, which is a combination of Paralysis, Dragon, and actually has long reach, plus full Kushala armor, which has Guard +1, Evasion +1, Wind Resist High. And maybe one last thing I'm forgetting. And in any case, the details of Espinos seem to be some sort of almost Latin theme wyvern. The prime characteristic of him is he is very sleepy. As you'll notice, when I wandered into the zone, he was already sleeping. Now, I'm not sure as to the exact specifications of how sleep attack bonuses work on him when he's in that mode. I would assume that they work fine. This version doesn't really require any special tactics when he's sleeping, but higher ranked versions usually can't be woken up all that easily by normal weapons. You usually need to use bombs or repeatedly attack the weak points before he respawns. Also, he'll stay in a normal mode for quite a lot longer. In that mode, he doesn't take much damage at all from normal weapons. You have to wait until he's enraged before you can start attacking him in those other areas. So you'll notice his wings, head, and spine are all glowing red. That makes him a little bit easier to damage. Of course, what you just saw just a moment ago was me being charged by him. He has kind of a combination poison and paralysis ability. When he charges you, he only does poison. but if he hits you with one of those fireballs of his, it actually counts as both poison and paralysis if it hits you dead on. He has a number of breaks. The most important break, as far as I know, is his horn. The second most important break is, as you would expect, his tail. Other things that can be broken are, I believe, both of his wings and possibly his chest. I can't remember if the chest can be broken. This is actually, in actuality, my maybe second or third fight against him. So, as you can tell from a couple things I'm hit by, I'm still learning his patterns. And just something to note about my fights in Monster Hunter Frontier, for the most part, I'm going to try and show off all the fights that I can be done solo first. As you've heard from earlier in this episode, lag is a significant issue in the game, and I don't think it'd be a lot of fun watching me fighting a monster just twitching back and forth. There might be some cruel enjoyment of watching someone just stab something as it moves around helplessly, but that'll have to wait for a later report. Now, when he's damaged enough, he's going to try and flee to Area 2. Kind of predict when that's happened. You can always flash bomb him and stumble him out of the air. In a way, sort of similar to Diablos or many other flying ruins as well. Unique to some of the two-man quests are a more abundant availability of supply items. As you notice, I just took a supply max potion. What was also given to me was a supply large barrel bomb. Using it while he was sleeping probably would have been a good idea. Probably would have broken his horn a little bit faster, but it's not really a big deal at all. And there's the tail. You'll notice in these two-man quests, the wyverns really form almost identically to the way you would expect them to fight in one of the single-player games. The developers really did take kind of a break on the players in that regard. The only downside is, as far as I know, the quest rewards are somewhat less, as well as the break rewards probably don't have high as a rate of dropping the better items, although that is just hearsay at that point. I have no way to confirm it or not. Okay, and so that is probably a grossly under-exaggerated fight against Espinos. Of course, the 4-man version takes quite a bit more damage, and probably deals a lot more damage as well. And of course, you can always upgrade to the higher, I believe maybe 81 rank version Espinos, as well as 100 rank, and see a greater variety of moves, as well as a much greater level of damage output from them. But you can expect, at least on a periodic basis, at least on the podcast, if not outside of the podcast, I'll do the best I can to show these new monsters that are available in Monster Hunter Frontier, as well as to continue to encourage you to take the chance to go out and try Monster Hunter Frontier for yourself. So, until then, enjoy the rest of the show.